Is this gameplay? Is this meant to be gameplay?
I want to say no, but yes, this is half the game.
Riveting.
Rogue-lites / likes and Metroidvanias have been the main two genres to lump most games into over the last few years, with variations on both to endear the general gamer. Without innovation, a game will fade into the ocean of obscurity. Well, here we arrive at a game that attempted to be both a Metroidvania and a roguelite / like, and never really succeeded in competently being either one. While there are some solid ideas present in Rogue Explorer, is it worth your time? Let's find out.
While most of these
Rogue-lites / likes and Metroidvanias
incorporate some sort of plotline to justify the hours upon hours of backtracking, running very similar adventures, and wealth of hours spent frustrated when one enemy gets you from behind and you have to go through an entire dungeon before healing, Rogue Explorer does not. Rogue Explorer doesn't even go so far as to explain what you're doing, what's going on, or even who you are. The most you can glean is from promotional material to know that this colossal building is called the Abyss Tower, and that you must ascend it. That is all. Anything beyond the most rudimentary understanding that building is evil and player must ascend it is anyone's guess.
The gameplay of Rogue Explorer is rather uneventful, with a few unexpected additions and changes that not only create a unique menu navigation system, but a frustrating one. But before we get into the things that need some serious improvement, let's discuss the things that work in this game.
First, permanent upgrades. The kinds of upgrades that have become a basic expectation of these
Rogue-lites / likes and Metroidvania
games. They increase your strength, your HP, and a handful of them even give you some permanent abilities like a double jump or a rolling attack to add to your rolling dodge. This upgrade system works. It's nothing spectacular, and it's basic, but it works. It's one of the more reliable systems in Rogue Explorer.
Second, level up upgrades. While not new, it is a nice way of shaking up the leveling up system as you ascend the Abyss Tower. As you defeat enemies, this XP bar will fill, and when it does, you level up and can pick from 3 randomly selected upgrades to add to your loadout for that run. These will disappear if you die or beat that dungeon this run, and offer fairly helpful options from increasing your HP to increasing the amount of damage you do when jumping on enemies. Again, this system is rather basic, but it's reliable and can give you the edge on bosses that appear at the end of each dungeon.
Finally, designing your character. You don't have a name, this person doesn't have a name, the smith doesn't have a name. No one has a name, and their designs are nothing special. But you can alter yours. From the look of your hair to the color of your eyes, you can truly insert yourself or your adventure sona into this game. Not only that, armor and accessories you craft then appear on your player character, ensuring you can conquer dungeons, fight dragons, and look ridiculous while doing so.
Now that we've covered the notable parts of this game that work, we would like to cover the parts of this game that desperately need improvement to create even a marginal gaming experience.
First, controls. Basic movement is handled by the left stick. B is to jump, and Y is to attack with your main weapon, which floats around you as you travel. Questions arise when dodging is discussed because you have 2 dodge buttons in the form of L and R. They'll roll you left and right respectively. Why not just have 1 dodge button? It feels intentionally designed to confuse and complicate even simple combat situations. Speaking of confusing buttons, attacking. When you press Y, your main weapon flies out a certain distance and swipes, then returns. Spears have the greatest player-controlled reach, axes have the shortest. You can also equip a sub-weapon, which is just a second wacky thing that will float around with your main, but this is one you do not control. The game controls it, and through a system of RNG, will decide when and where to attack. While main weapons can only attack directly in front of the player and only from a certain distance, sub-weapons can attack in any direction within range of the weapon type. Even further confusing is the fact there's a level up upgrade that allows the player a second equipped weapon, a copy of it, and it is controlled by the player. Why not just let the player control all weapons, even sub-weapons, which, again, can be attributed to another unused button in the arsenal. It's so strange to leave such a basic ability to in-game RNG systems instead of the player themselves.
Second, lag. In an alarming discovery, Rogue Explorer suffers from lag issues on the opening menu screen. While it is not prevalent during dungeon runs, the Hubtown menus suffer from rather serious lag issues during anything. Scrolling, crafting, navigating, upgrading, everything. It was such a strange discovery to make in the first few minutes of my time with this game.
Finally, this game eats your inputs. Rogue Explorer will eat about 30% of your button inputs while you fight through the baker's dozen of dungeons in here, which only serves to further complicate and confuse even basic motions like movement and attacking. Bosses aren't any more scary than enemies that take just a few more hits, but taking undue damage due to the game eating 4 out of 5 of your dodge or jump inputs only serves to make bosses more frustrating than difficult. This is a problem that needs serious looking into and rectifying because, like the lag, the confusing controls, the 2 dodge buttons, and the way your equipped weapons are handled, it only drags this experience down the longer you play.
Rogue Explorer feels like a rushed project that was only able to finish a few of its most basic components before it was pushed out the door. It will not stand out among the ocean of roguelite/likes and Metroidvanias, which is disappointing, but with the issues we laid out in the gameplay section, this game is hard to recommend without serious updates and fixes. However, even with those, this experience is quite hollow as it attempts to entertain you with no story, bosses that are just sized up enemies, and a system that uses grinding as a means of padding playtime. These create a severely bare bones experience, if that, and one this reviewer does not recommend.